And that was Epica with the Solus System, a title track off of an EP of theirs. I'm Ken the Metal Professor, and that wraps up Mostly Metal for the evening. I have no idea what I will do next week. It will be a surprise to all of us. And now it's 9:30. You are listening to WVLP, 103.1 Low Power FM in Valparaiso, Indiana, also streaming on WVLP.org. And it is time for the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program.
Your insubordination will not be tolerated.
And welcome back already. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. This is the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program now here on WVLP. What a transition. We're going to talk wrestling for the next, oh gosh, now it's down to about 27 or 28 minutes, but we'll make good use of that time. With me in the studio is Mikey Blanton, who is running a show next weekend in Crown Point. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me, man.
And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to real quickly give the recap of a show I was at last night, give a heads up to folks about some shows that are coming up soon, one of which is yours, and then we'll spend the rest of the time talking about what you got going on.
All right, sounds great.
And hopefully make good use of this time. Although, before we get too silly about wrestling, normally I don't talk about national wrestling stuff on this show. I reserve it for local things. But every once in a while, you have to break that. And just wanted to mention the passing of Bobby the Brain Heenan just earlier today, which was a very sad thing.
Yeah, man, that is heartbreaking. It's one of the worst things that happened to wrestling this year.
And it's been a pretty rough year, I think, in terms of...
Couple of years.
Yeah. But I guess, I wonder if that's just like the age, well, you still have a ways to go, but like the age I'm getting, all the people that I grew up watching, they're all really old. And so maybe they're going to be going faster. But I have memories of him and Gorilla.
Oh, yeah,
always
they're
talking
the
to
best.
each other, and Gorilla with his, would you shut up?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
Whenever Heenan got to him, and it was always so much fun. So
The Sean Mooney stuff I liked the best. When they would call the Sean Mooney, and every time Bobby Heenan would say, who?
Who? Yeah, there's nobody like him anymore. That's too bad. All right. Well, anyway, so last night I went over to Merrillville to Impact Christian Church, and I watched Fire Pro Wrestling 137. That's a lot of shows that they've done out there, and they even say that 137 is probably undercounting. But, Impact Christian Church is their home base. But next month, they will be at MonsterCon at the Porter County Expo Center on October 14th. They're going to do two shows at 11:30 and 2. And then they'll be back out at their home base on October 21st. So they'll be pretty busy next month. There were 6 matches on this show I saw. The first one was Johnny Motley versus Ricky Vendel. And I have you ever heard Ricky Vendel, his name? Because I
have not.
Okay, it's always tough sometimes to hear names at shows. If you don't know what the names are and they're the first time you've ever heard them, it can be hard to make them out. So I think it was Ricky Vendel, but I do definitely know Johnny Motley. And Johnny Motley ended up winning that match. And then Nico Antonelli versus Kyle Cross, and Nico Antonelli won that match. Third match was the Gypsy King, Richie Rothschild, against Austin Fury. And Austin Fury tried his best, but Richie was too much to overcome, and Richie won that match. After the intermission, we had Roach versus Adam Bueller. Adam Bueller is the holder of the Impact Championship, and Roach was trying to get that away from him. It was kind of funny because this is in a church. Adam Bueller's nickname at most of his shows now is the Antichrist Adam Bueller, but he was still going by the Violent Gentleman Adam Bueller at this show, which I thought was nice of him to not push the boundaries there. But he came out and did his thing, and a lot of the crowd was chanting for Adam Bueller, and he tried his hardest to get them not to do that. But at some point, like right before their first lockup, he and Roach just kind of looked at each other and like rolled their eyes like, what are we going to do? And they just went for it. Adam Bueller played the fake injury card at the end. He got counted out of the ring, and then because he was pretending to be hurt, so he didn't lose. He lost the match, but he didn't lose his belt. And he jumped up and hopped up and down on his legs to show what he had just gotten away with. And there were some folks in the row in front of me that were just going insane about this. When the ref gave Bueller his title back, they were screaming at the ref. They were screaming at Bueller. They were shouting over to the announce table where these guys were, "What's going on here?" Blah, blah, blah. So they were almost as entertaining as the show itself was. Six-man tag, the Bambino family versus Flash Harris and Mike Strong versus the Cavalier Club, which is CK1 and Flawless Dave Allen. And the Cavalier Club won the tag titles in that by playing the sit outside and don't get involved match until the other guys have beaten each other up enough, and then jump back in and get the pin. And that was really entertaining. And then the last match was Jeremy Hadley defending his heavyweight championship from Stonehand Slater Wallace, and that was a DQ when the Cavalier Club came back out and clobbered all over Hadley for the DQ. So that was a little bit of fun out there in Merrillville. And the next month or so and more is going to be very, very busy. This coming Friday night, September 22nd, ACW will be back doing their back to school bash at Lincoln Elementary School, and we've had lots of ACW folks here on the show to talk about what's going on there. They seem to have had a summer vacation, much like schools, and they do some of their shows for school fundraisers, so it's kind of appropriate. So that'll be this Friday night. And then Saturday, September 23rd, I believe there's something you've heard of going on that night?
It's actually
afternoon, right?
Afternoon, 1 p.m. in Crown Point. Black Label Pro presents the Darkest Timeline Championship Tournament.
Phase 1.
Phase 1, of
Right.
course. Phase 2 will also be on October 21st.
Uh-huh.
That's an evening show. So.
Okay. All right. So we'll break this show down pretty soon. In fact, I had some things, but the whole title just itself, we can spend a little bit of time on, just the different parts of that, because I think they're pretty cool. Saturday, September 30th, EHF is having Extreme Homecoming 2 out of the Century Center in South Bend, and I originally thought that show was going to be September 23rd as well, and I was going to have to decide, am I going to go from my daughter's volleyball tournament in Rolling Prairie, which is close to South Bend, back to Crown Point to see a show in the afternoon, and then back out to South Bend to see a show in the evening. But now I don't have to worry about that because that show is actually on the 30th. Also on the 30th, Pro Wrestling King at the Kiwanis Fall Festival. The week after that, Pro Wrestling King, Halloween Mania 4 at Bourbon Park Pavilion out in Bourbon. As I mentioned before, at MonsterCon here in Valparaiso at the Porter County Expo Center, Fire Pro will be doing two, well, I think they're going to be more like exposition shows, probably not very long, but at 11:30 and 2. October 14th, there's like 3 or 4 different shows going on. That one, Backbreaker Wrestling in Griffith, Functified Wrestling, that's way out in Warsaw, and also ARW Pro will be running a fundraiser at Morton High School. And then in October, we're getting back to where you guys are active again?
Yes, October
right?
21st, Phase 2.
All right. So I know I ran through that really fast. You can check out metalprofessor.com, look for NWIWRAP and shows in 2017. You can see that. You can also subscribe to my Google Calendar, which is NWIWRAP.WVLP@gmail.com. The calendar should be public, and I put all these shows on there, so hopefully they'll just pop right up in your calendar too. And I usually about 7 out of 10, I get all the information right. That's not so bad. Okay, so you are here to talk about Black Label Pro Wrestling. And that's the official name of the promotion is Black Label Pro.
Just
Black Label Pro. And how long is this the first show under that name?
This is the first event, correct.
Okay. Is this the first show you've promoted, or have you been active doing other things?
10 years ago, I promoted a company in Portage called Fight Sports Midwest.
Okay.
And we did a couple shows then, and I kind of got out of it. And then now I'm back, trying to do my own thing again. Little different kind of wrestling.
Can I be really nosy and ask how old you are? Because you look like you're about 24. And you're saying now you were promoting 10 years ago.
I appreciate that. I am actually 34.
Okay.
Yes.
You still have me beat by quite a while there. So.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, and then I was, I love wrestling. I love it so much. And I kind of was tired of seeing the same guys on every single show. So I was like, I'm going to try something different. And that's what Black Label Pro is
okay.
Doing different stuff.
Good. So what is it about wrestling? I'm gonna make this my standard question now from whenever I have a guest in here. On its surface, wrestling is just a stupid endeavor. What is it about it that makes us all love it so much?
I have loved it.
It's just silly.
Is WCW is what got me into wrestling. It was the Fujinami Ric Flair angle. I remember watching it. There was controversy over the world title, and I was hooked from then. And that was probably 91, so I was 8 years old. But yeah, it's addicting. I don't understand it. Like I can't escape it.
I hope it's not offensive that I call it a stupid endeavor. I say that with love.
Oh, I don't care.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, I am also addicted to it. So the darkest timeline. We'll start with that part of the name. I like that because this is a metal show, and that sounds very dark and metal. So where did that come from?
It's actually a reference from the television show Community.
Okay.
In the show, they say that there are 6 different timelines that you could kind of go by, and the darkest one is where all the evil lives, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, there's different options. That's why in the tournament we have per phase we have 3 singles matches, 1 3-way, 1 4-way, 1 5-way, and all those winners are going to go in a 6-way on the finals of each night.
Okay.
And then those 2 winners will go December 1st, same building in Crown Point, and they're going to meet to make our first champion.
Okay. So there will be 3 phases altogether, phase 1, phase 2, and then the big summit of all of it? Is that?
Yeah, that third show is not going to be a phase because it's just going to be the one match, We have a different name that we haven't revealed yet.
Okay.
We will in due time.
Okay.
But yeah, we have just fun stuff coming up. The pretty much main event of this first show is Matt Riddle against Filthy Tom Lawler. They are both. Filthy Tom is a current UFC fighter, MMA fighter, and Matt Riddle kind of got out of MMA and UFC a couple years back, and this is the first time meeting between the two. So it's a big feel match. It is great. They both wanted it a lot. It took a lot to be able to make it happen, but it's happening in 6 days, and I cannot wait.
I think I saw Tom Lawler a few months ago at When Worlds Collide out in South Bend. He was a lot of fun.
I co-promoted that show. I brought in Filthy Tom Lawler.
Oh, very good.
Yes, he went against Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was great.
That was a great match. So I'm looking forward to that again. So all the matches that will be on this first show are part of the larger tournament, and so it's building not only to kind of a culminating match the end of that night, but then that will carry over down the line for a future show.
Absolutely, it's all going to come together. It's all going to kind of intertwine together, and it's like just building and building and building, and that's the plan of it all. Is stories and just great action and fun stuff too, and seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, or you maybe never seen in the area.
Okay, we'll talk about the roster. Who are some of the folks you have coming in?
All right, we have Darby Allin. He is from Seattle, and he's going against Super Crazy, who was the Extreme Luchador in ECW. He was also in WWE. He's coming in. That's a first-round match. Keith Lee is going one-on-one with Sammy Guevara, who is really coming up lately. He was in. They were both in the Battle of Los Angeles in PWG, like a month ago or so. Then there's a 3-way match of Dasher Hatfield versus Joe Gacy versus Mordecai, also known as Kevin Thorne, but I wanted him to be Mordecai, and because it's a great character, and Mordecai is going to be in Crown Point, which is exciting. And then we have a 4-way match, which is B-Boy coming all the way from San Diego. He's going against Simon Grimm, who was in WWE very, very recently. He was actually on WrestleMania this year. So, WrestleMania is the second biggest show that he will be on this year, besides ours. And then KLD is also in the match, and Space Monkey. So So that should be fun.
Space Monkey, huh?
Space Monkey, yes, absolutely. And then we have Donovan Danhausen versus Dominic Guarini versus Leva Bates versus Rory Gulick, whose brother is currently in the WWE.
Is that Drew? Uh-huh.
Yes, absolutely.
Do we get PowerPoint slides?
Oh, no, we cannot.
Darn it.
Against GPA. So, yeah, all those are, they're all good. They're all good. And, like, that's the cool thing about this tournament is, like, everyone going in has a chance. You know, you don't look, because sometimes you'll see a match and you're like, there's no way that guy's winning, you know, but every single person, guy and girl, because Leva Bates is also in this, everyone has a chance, so it's going to be great. Everyone's going to have a good time.
Has she led on as to what character she may show up as? Because I know she likes to do the whole cosplay thing.
I know.
Is that a secret?
I know, but
Oh,
you guys are going to have to
you're
wait
not
and
gonna
see.
Tell. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Absolutely. She's very great. She's a very sweet girl.
What's the hotel bill for this thing?
Next question, please.
Yeah, your fiance might be listening, and we don't want to get into that.
She absolutely is. Hi,
that's-
Jess.
Hi there. He's just kidding. He was flashing all of his cash earlier. You guys are all right. It's okay. So is she supportive of all of this, or does
Oh,
she roll,
absolutely.
Does she roll her eyes at you that every time you're?
She rolls her eyes at me, but not for this. Just for, the normal bonehead things that I do on a daily basis.
Excellent. What's the venue like? So it's on the square on the Square Sports Academy. Is that
Yes.
what it is?
In Crown Point, there's the square, the famous square, and there used to be a movie theater right there. It's still there. You can still see where the movie theater was. Just right to the right of the movie theater, there's a building called On the Square Sports Academy.
Okay.
And that's where this at. It's like a gym setup.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, the acoustics are great.
Oh, nice.
Like
Okay.
it's just, and there's bleachers and there's seating and like the front row sold out because we put our tickets at $15 and then kids 6 and under are free just because like we want families to be able to afford this thing. Our concessions are going to be affordable, all this stuff, and everything besides the front row is $15. Our front row was $20, and if you get there early enough, you could realistically have a second row seat for $15. So but the venue itself is awesome. I love it. I'm very, very happy that we found that place.
And you said earlier before we went on that theoretically it could hold like 900 people.
It could hold 900 people, and I hope it does hold 900
We're gonna
people.
pack the joint.
Yes, let's pack this place. It sounds great.
And you did mention kids prices, and you were stressing earlier that this is intended to be family friendly. So this is not CZW.
This is not CZW. No, it is not. We might have some CZW legends next month.
Sure.
Next month in October, we have the Faces of Fear from WCW and also WWF, like Ming, a.k.a. Haku, and the Barbarian. They are going up against Nick Gage from CZW and a mystery partner currently. So we'll have to wait and see who that is, too.
Okay.
But it's going to be great. That I can't wait.
Now, is that a mystery partner mystery from you because he said, I'm bringing somebody in, you'll just have to wait? Or is this an unveiling to be announced? Or do you have to wait till the show to find out?
Well, I want to be transparent with all the fans. His original partner we had announced was Joey Janela, and Joey has other commitments.
Sure.
So we have the other partner.
Okay.
But we will surprise the fans when the time is right.
Sure, and that's what I was getting at was, sometimes the mystery partner, you've got the silhouette on the marquee, and you have to wait right until the start of the match to find out who it's going to be, or it's somebody that's revealed a little bit in advance or something.
Yes,
I just wasn't
absolutely.
sure which one that was going to be.
The graphic we have, the silhouette is so obviously Seth Rollins. I just want to publicly state that it is not Seth Rollins that is the mystery partner. I apologize. Yeah, that is not going to happen.
So you're saying on WVLP, we're breaking the news. The mystery partner is not Seth Rollins.
I am sorry, all you Seth Rollins fans.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Yes.
Okay. What about for folks who are interested in the show, but maybe they can't actually make it? Is there going to be any kind of either live broadcast or rebroadcast or recording and distribution afterwards?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're lucky that we had Domino's, the Northwest Indiana Domino's, sponsor us, and it's enabled us to be able to get like a professional crew in, Swerve Video. They're coming in and recording the thing, and it's going to be available for purchase at smartmarkvideo.com.
Okay.
So normally it's ready pretty quick, like within a week or two. So make sure you check us out on Facebook at Black Label Pro. I think it's Black Label Pro Wrestling on Facebook, like if you search for it or whatever. And on Twitter, B-Label Pro, at B-Label Pro. And we will have all the information about how to watch it and all that stuff. So we're making sure it's set up so, if you can't be sitting there watching it, you could be sitting at home watching it pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the plan.
Okay, good. And will that be the case for all three of the shows? Do you know in advance that it's going to be the same plan for October and December?
Yeah, it's the plan for all of our shows. Going forward, we only have the three announced. Like we're going forward. We have January, February, March, all that stuff. But like I said, we'll announce all that in due time.
Great.
Yeah, it's SmartMark. Like they're really good at. They have the MP4s and the you could download the stuff, and you could get a DVD or a Blu-ray. So you have options, and that's great.
Okay, awesome. Now, you had mentioned earlier when you came in that you came bearing a couple of tickets.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
maybe it might be good to. We're sort of, admittedly, we're kind of making this up as we go along.
Yes, of
but
course.
But maybe because why do it otherwise, right?
That's how I live my life.
Why plan? See if we can get them in the hands of a couple of deserving people. And so we decided that the way to do this might be a little contest.
Yes.
In memory of Bobby the Brain Heenan. So you're willing to give out an email address.
Yes, the email address is blabelpro@gmail.com. And one more time, it's blabelpro@gmail.com.
And so what we're going to do here is the first, what's the first blank people? Do you have a ballpark?
Yeah, let's do 4 of them.
Let's do 4. Okay. So the first 4 people to send in a really good Bobby the Brain Heenan quote.
Absolutely, yes. Send me some good stuff because I'm going to be picky.
Okay, so you will be the judge, the jury, and the executioner for these Heenan quotes.
I promise not to execute anyone.
That's good. And then the way this will work will be you'll have it's not a wait list. It's a list at the door that people can check in, and their name would be the guest list.
Yes, my lovely fiance Jessica will be working the door. She will have a list, and your name will be on it if you are chosen. And we will email you back, obviously, that you can come, and we'll have you on the list. And come on in and enjoy a fun afternoon of professional wrestling.
That sounds great, and thank you for doing that because this is not only a giveaway for you. It's going to help me a little bit, and I admitted earlier I'm kind of nervous because this is sort of going to be a test of how many people listen to this show on WVLP. Because if your email address remains spider webs and crickets for the next several days, that's probably a bad sign.
I will let you know.
Oh, maybe I don't want to know. What you can do is tell me just how fast. I had 30 emails waiting within the first 10 minutes, and it was so hard to make a decision. That's what I want to hear.
I could lie to you if you want.
Lie through your teeth just to keep me happy.
Yes, and one more thing regarding the tickets, I just remembered. In Crown Point at McFly's Gentleman's Shop, it is a, hair cutting place, a barber shop, sorry, that they have tickets available to purchase. If you'd like to not go online and order them, just go ahead and go into McFly's Gentleman's Shop and pick up tickets there.
Okay. Is that named after the McFly from Back to the Future?
Absolutely.
Excellent. I've never been there, but now I can imagine the decor.
Oh, yeah, there's a great group of guys that are there, so it's going to be great.
Is there anything that we haven't covered yet? We've talked about the roster, the dates, the time, the venue, the opportunities for future shows, anything else just in general that you wanted to make sure people knew about?
Yeah, just Buy tickets, people, and I'll tell you why. Because Northwest Indiana has a bunch of great wrestling fans, and we don't have to go all the way to Chicago to find great wrestling. We can have it right here at home. It's not that far, great location, the prices aren't bad, and it's going to be a great time, I promise.
The air conditioning will be cranked up.
Oh, yes.
Because it's been, the last couple of days have been pretty hot. I've been blaming my wife because she said, normally in September there's like one last heat wave. I wonder when that's coming.
Yeah, I run heavy equipment at work, and it is miserable without air conditioning.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what do you do when you're not promoting, especially this hot time for you? I imagine this week is going to be pretty stressful and nuts. But what do you do wrestling wise? To follow, to relax. Do you have any favorite television shows or just hints for people, recommendations to keep up with stuff?
Forever The Office. I will tell everyone forever, watch The Office at least once or 10 times, and Parks and Rec as well, and Community. Of course, you need to watch all this stuff. But like wrestling, watch like 1987 NWA. I don't think anything gets better than that. I mean, I clearly tracked down Manny Fernandez for October 21st because I love 1987 NWA so much. It's so great. Just, there's so many great stories. I love it so much.
Okay.
It's on the WWE Network.
Yes.
$9.99
for the low price of $9.99. And
of course.
We do not get kickbacks for that.
No, we do not.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in. I think we've just about run out of time here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I had intended to ask you. I've sort of run out of my very small checklist I had here. But again, will you run through one more time really quick the tickets, the giveaway, the email address, and what folks need to do? And I'm still listening, but I got to turn away to make sure the computer is ready to go with the next programming after mine while you're reviewing that.
Yes. Make sure you send in your favorite Bobby Heenan quotes to belabelpro@gmail.com. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter at belabelpro and on Facebook at Black Label Pro Wrestling. And I believe Instagram is Black Label Pro. I'm not sure, but just look it up and you'll find it. It's great.
Okay. And the Black Label Pro Facebook is the best way, just in general, for people to latch on to keep up with things?
Yes, the easiest way to find it on Facebook, actually, is to go to blacklabelpro.pizza.
blacklabelpro.pizza, Pizza.
That's correct.
That is a whole new thing for me. What's that about?
I found out on a podcast that you can have .pizza, and I have a lot of them now.
I'm going to have to check that. I mean, that's definitely memorable. That's not something that you forget.
Of course. Who needs a .com when you can have a .pizza?
It must be one of those things like, tiny.cc or tiny URL where you can compact a longer URL and make it memorable for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
That's our tiny URL for tickets is tinyurl.com/, I think it's Bro versus Filthy, because it's Matt Riddle versus Filthy Tom Lawler.
Okay.
Get
Excellent.
tickets.
Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to next weekend. And if anybody caught part of this and wants to hear the rest, you will be able to hear it on the NWIWRAP YouTube channel within a few days. But also this whole show for the last 2 hours will be rebroadcast Wednesday night from 10 p.m. until midnight. So make plans to stay up later and finish that up. Just listen to it all again to make sure that you have all the details. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
I'm Ken the Metal Professor. You are listening to WVLP 103.1 FM in Valparaiso, Indiana. And you are about to be listening to a replay of Punk Rock Radio.